Awesome. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'm feeling very emotional after that introduction, and I wish I had tea in my system instead of the bunch of caffeine because I'm coming from the States. So it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and I just did a vocalizing session because I work as a singer. So I'm gonna read one poem from the beginning, and then I'll read some from the Leniad. And this is the book. I'm really happy with it as an object in the cover, and I'm just so thankful to be among the, what's the phrase, burnished band of gratitude, the motley crunchy crew, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm happy. Okay. Of his mistress upon occasion of her walking in a garden is the title of a sonnet by one Henry Constable, who is a lover, the man Shakespeare is in love with in his sonnets. This would be a good title to repurpose for my poem if I wanted to be the long lost lover who did exist, whom people deny as such did, do, will. This would not be a good title to repurpose if I worried for a long gone past that didn't even cross its own real hairs. I wouldn't catch, not being of scruffy beard, readiness to pose for a portrait capturing a likeness and now hands, and hangs in room 321 in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, New York. This would be a good title to repurpose if I were bent on paying attention to a problem that pokes me in the face when I sniff it. Namely, those are lilies. This would not be a good title to repurpose. This would not be a title. This would not be a good to a purpose for my poem. Constable's modern editor, Joan Grundy, says she has searched all British and continental poems and can find no other instance of a violet acquiring its color by being soaked in blood. Elaine Scarry, page 63. This makes me wonder to history for examples of what it might after all be like if this title would be good, re the purpose of seeing a poem depend on us who, historically naive or not, have never been in love. So I'll read the intro note to the Leniad. If we boil down the story of the Leniad, we're left with a few bare bones. Leni eats at a restaurant with an ex, travels on a bus between cities, has a hotel hookup or three. Importantly, for our purposes, he keeps a journal. A scant metaphysics is scatterable. A man put his hand on Leni's ankle. I'll yes myself, Leni thinks, as per usual. As a man, it's not that I struggle to think about magic or blood, says the latest ex. The two of them are munching at a restaurant table. Cold night. He zooms inward. Again is one gift of fewer sexual partners. He looks in the bathroom mirror. Availability makes him often gathering. Blowback. Leni passes a center for conventions, side-eyeing the suits in and out, a long line. It's as if a lone line has a static I absorb and I need it. Convention subject, porn. Porn can't be separated from art. Great art is always flanked by its dark sisters, blasphemy and pornography, says a pullout quote. Desire is eventual. He thinks this in this city. How much is rent? And there are a bunch of prose blocks in the poem. And what these are, I got obsessed with the Odyssey, like back in 2016. And I got obsessed with how Homer, vis-a-vis the Emily Wilson translation, uses metaphors and similes because it's so simple and so colorful. So I got obsessed and I wrote down every single metaphor and simile in the entire Odyssey, and then I cataloged them. So what you're about to hear is every time a man is used as a metaphor or a simile, but put into my own words, which then become the words of the character, Leni. A man is a force, but feeling defeated, his eyes will burn like fire, bright, not dim, as he comes upon pretty local girls who are like cows or sheep in sturdy pens because he is a mountain lion. A man is the intaking of a breath by a god. When the god gives him mouth to mouth, the man gets good at words. A man is a giant who supersedes comparison with the usual types that live on bread. Compare him to the wooden peak in airy mountains. A man is a lion at home on a mountain when he eats. A man looks like a fish when speared. A man is a pig in a landlord's feast when he's one of many murdered. A man is a prince who tends to be young, with the soft skin. A man is a young boy who grew up like a tree to match limb for limb that dropped seed. A man is material to begin. A man is a boy who glows like embers. A man is a goose when he's one of many, gathering to waste wealth. A man is trash when he puts his feet up to get nasty. A man who talks too much is an old woman at work on an old oven. A man who takes up space in the minds of many, that's a hero. A man is a god when more than one person honors him. A man is non-existence if you can't prove him. Doing love well is will. Leni looks outside his apartment building. It's cold. He sings, "We ain't ever getting older with our roommates back in Boulder." For why shouldn't I roll? My eyes do me. To do is done and still to do. Change no wet blue jeans. Take no hat off in the wind for an answer. Leni hears a ringing alarm of a car and calls it violation. No such thing as noticing no small thing. He's getting out of his jeans. This opens his mouth. He's aware and inhaling faster through the nose when you suspect a bad smell is rude. I'd laugh. His musk is like the gasoline dad used to power his boat. My dad died when I was 9. Death happens, then spring is back. Leni writes this down. I crave danger sometimes. Then I go back to the self-same green, the green iPod I wrap the flat headphone cords around. Into the huge day, he rides on a train. Hears the highway is blue in a blur. I listen. He's not mine now, nor are his hands mine, which he had folded me up with. If not, one attends, Leni thinks. He's looking up at loud clouds and a group of buds. Compare this impression to, she maintained this contradiction. I've heard it said, who are your parents, is one of the most important questions. You can ask. Knocking around with them, he looks up at the sky. No eagle. The mind can be injured or have always lacked the ability to stand up on its own. The mind is a bodybuilder who has his push-pull routines and thinks he doesn't need rest days. The mind can craft an outline by rising and falling. A mind is like a chair that a god can turn to face a new direction, but then that chair can fall apart and you become its pieces. The mind is a pool whose waters whirl. I'm a shop, the glass display. First look at the glass, not at your reflection, or don't I look past? Nature is of the rock sometimes. Above the surface, efforts are underway. Leni has this need to know to be. Nobody knows anybody. I enjoy pointing and I enjoy the same exclusivity of no one else knowing me. On a crosswalk in the industrial downtown of New Jersey, the sun is on to him. Okay, I'll stop there. Thank you all for listening, and I'm so excited to be here and be reading with all these other authors. Thank you.